my name's Jennifer Complo McNutt, and I'm the curator of contemporary art. We put together two exhibits, Powerful Women 1 and Powerful Women 2. Right now we are going through Powerful Women 1, and that's based on all Native American artists, and they are very powerful women. The first thing you see as you come up the grand stairwell behind the admissions desk is the Harvey Gallery. And in the Harvey Gallery is Luzine Hill's installation of Retracing the Trace. Luzine's work, and this piece in particular, is all about violence against women, and in particular, sexual violence against women. Luzine was attacked in 1994, and that experience sort of stayed in her for a long time, but eventually it came out. And so this installation consists of three elements. Quipu chords, which are an Incan way of remembering and counting. And there are 3,780 chords in this gallery hanging on the wall. And that is because at that time, in 2011, when the piece was created, that's how many rapes occurred in the United States every day. Now, some of those rapes go unreported, and so Luzine sees these quipu chords that she puts on the wall as a way to give voice to the women that aren't talking. It is interesting to note that each one of these quipu chords is punctuated by a timestamp. And so the timestamp represents 24 hours in a day. There is a video of her installation, because the way the installation begins is she lays in the middle of the gallery. You put the quipu chords over her. She gets up, and there's an outline, like a crime outline. Then one by one, and very silently and solemnly, she picks up the quipu chords, and she starts at 7:15, because that's when her rape occurred. The interesting thing about this piece is it is infinitely beautiful and infinitely disturbing. The other thing is the timestamp is at the level of her neck, and that's because when she was attacked, she had on a hoodie with strings, and the attacker pulled the strings around her neck, and it left red marks that didn't go away for about 6 months, and she was afraid they would never go away. So it's a very dramatic, beautiful piece, and you can see the video of her installation if you come and take a look. Now we're going to look at Bonnie Divine's Canoe. This was created in 2003. Bonnie Divine is First Nations Indigenous. That means Indigenous people from Canada. She's Ojibwa, and this canoe is created by her handwritten master's thesis, and talks about, and it's all paper, and it talks about the fact that uranium mining on their reserves, which is what they call their reservations, has so polluted the environment that when they go to do their ceremonies, after day 3, their moccasins start to disintegrate. So it's a very emotional issue for the Ojibwa, and this is a particularly unique canoe design that is very old, that she has recreated with paper. And these elements represent different elements that happen in the landscape and with the uranium mining. I kind of made that part up. Okay, these are the Three Graces by C. Max Stevens. And C. Max Stevens has created these based on her relationship with her sisters. They're a very matriarchal family, and so decisions are made in their household with the three sisters and mother, and everybody respects their distance when they're doing this. Each one of them represents a different element. This one represents the sister that holds all the stories. So you see lots of pictures. Pictures of each other, pictures of events that have happened, pictures of animals, and a house on top, which is holding everything like you would in a family, holding your family stories together. This one represents identity, and it has all these ID labels at the bottom. You can see horsehair and a picture of her mother and father at the top. And then finally, you have this dress, we call them the dresses, this dress, and this is a representation of Max herself. And she sees herself as somebody that's kind of rough, and somebody that, so the other dresses she's made in a more elegant fashion, and this one she's given rougher branches, a rougher installation of the paper that she wraps, sticks sticking straight up. So a less round, less organic, and more sharp interpretation. This is the work of Brenda Mallory, and she's Cherokee Nation. And what she does is she really recycles things, and this is actually cloth that's dipped in wax and held together with more industrial types of fasteners, and it has a structure that it hangs on that you can see the industrial-like bars that are coming out from it. One of the things I really like about this is Luzine and Brenda are friends. They're both Cherokee. They both were in the Eiteljorg Contemporary Art Fellowship in 2013. And if you look at their work side by side, you can see some similarities. Now, they're very different in that Brenda is combining something that's more delicate with something that's more industrial. Luzine really has a very light and light kind of installation, because each one of the kipu chords are very light. However, they developed a friendship and now have continued that friendship and continue to exhibit together and work together, which is a nice thing that happens when you bring artists together. This piece by Marie Watt is called Braid, and Marie works mostly in textiles. She does some other things, and there are several things that are interesting about this piece. There are 3 skeins, which represent the 3 sisters. There is the title Braid, which really references the fact that the US government literally came into Native people's homes, took the children away, cut their braids off, wouldn't let them wear their traditional clothing or speak their language to assimilate them. But the other thing that is really interesting about her work is she often does it kind of like a sewing bee and invites community members to come and sew with her. And so what she's found is that when women are looking down and sewing, they are more inclined to talk more intimately. And so this is a very rich piece with a lot of different levels. But also, it has a reference to the infinity side, which I think You know, when many people think about Native people, they think they're gone. So I like the fact that she's making this statement about infinity. This piece is by Jean Smith. She's Salish. Jean is really the grande dame of contemporary Native art. She is somebody that has, starting in the 80s, started bringing contemporary Native artists together to create exhibitions, started promoting contemporary Native artists, because they haven't always gotten the same kind of attention that other contemporary artists have gotten. So she has really been a powerful voice in the promotion of contemporary Native art. This particular piece I love because it's rather large. It's about 8 feet tall, and you have Coyote, who's the trickster, underneath a cloth. And at first you look at it and you go, oh, that's funny, Coyote the trickster. But then, if you think about it in terms of a shroud, then it becomes more ominous. So there are a lot of levels to this piece. Plus, her ability to draw is incredible. So you can see different kinds of marks, marks that were made quickly, marks that were made more slowly, very quick, more slowly, rubbed. There's a lot of depth in terms of interpretation and in terms of execution to this piece. Okay, this is the work of Kay Walking Stick. She's from the Cherokee Nation. Sono Io. She is somebody that is very interesting, one of the first artists to have work in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, exhibited by the June Kelly Gallery in New York City. Very formidable and intelligent woman who taught at Cornell University for many years. She also led the program in Rome that they did for their art students. At that time, she decided to convert to Catholicism. So she's somebody that doesn't fit the stereotype that people have. She taught at Cornell, she studied in Rome, she converted to Catholicism. The diptych format came about when her first husband died very quickly and at a young age. And so at that time, Kay was creating work that on one panel would be more realistic and on the other panel would be more abstracted. Now this one is somewhat abstracted, but if you go to her website, you can see the evolution of her work from very thick paint and very tumultuous landscapes to lighter and lighter work. It's very interesting.